Hello, and welcome out to the Death Battle cast. We are the cast and crew of Death Battle. I'm Ben, I play Wiz.
I'm Sam, I write things.
I'm Tori, I animate things.
I'm Chad, I play Boomstick. Hey.
And no sponsor this week, but we're not canceled yet. Everything's all right.
Sponsored by Love.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Was that a new lower third we had? Or have I just not noticed it the last few times?
I think you just haven't been paying attention.
It looked badass.
I'm glad. It
was great.
I'm glad Sam was the one to say that.
Yeah, you just noticed that shit too. You're like, wow, look at those graphics.
Well, you're the one who thought that the progress bar was a lower third before. Ugh.
Whatever.
We're going through a lot of changes here. But we just released a brand new Death Battle this past week. Jotaro from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure versus Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star. Two franchises which have never appeared in Death Battle before. And they finally appeared in our episode number 90.
Man, we're old.
We are getting close to that 100 mark.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy.
Only we planned something potentially cool for that.
Maybe.
That sure would be awesome.
I don't know.
Wouldn't it?
We might have forgotten about it, though. We'll see. But the episode's been up for a little while now. We've been seeing your reactions to it, and so far it's been pretty awesome. We have seen a couple questions, some common questions that have been in the comments and on forums and things like that, and we would like to address some of that going forward a little bit later in the show. But real quick, I kind of wanted to chat with you, Sam, since you are the writer for the episode.
Yeah, I did do that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
I remember that.
Good.
Yeah. I remember writing it.
Because it just went up.
Yeah, I saw it go up.
So how was it? How was writing for these guys?
Pretty fun. I didn't have a lot of knowledge of either franchise, so doing it was like, there was a lot more learning than usual as far as like, oh, that's cool. Like a lot of times, you know, when it's a character, it's like, oh, Wonder Woman, I know exactly who that is. Like, you know, and then it's just straight into research. And like, sure, I'll read some comics I might have never read or anything, but you know, it's not like when it's like, you know, when I was going to Fist of the North Star, I was literally like, I've never watched an episode before. Let's look. Holy shit, he blows people up. Like, you know, there was this whole thing, and like, it was just like a lot of fun to go through that process because it's been a while since I've done one where it's like completely new territory for me. So yeah, it was a lot of fun for both of them. They're both fun franchises. They're cool.
Actually, on that note, just because I'm sure some people are curious, when you go into characters that you don't know much about, like what is your process for like starting the research? Where do you start and what are you looking for?
I mean, usually there's always a character I know something about, like at least know who they are. Most of the time, it's episode or issue 1 of whatever their most popular thing is, just to get an idea. And then usually branching out from there.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Start from the beginning.
Yeah. You know, if for a lot of them it's easy. Like if you're gonna do Goku, just start at Dragon Ball episode 1 for the starters, and then you get into the manga and stuff like that, and like, you know, start looking deeper. So yeah, it just kind of depends on characters. And
Between
how many franchises they have.
between JoJo and Fist of the North Star, which did you end up liking more?
He can't say that. He's unbiased. No.
He can like something, but
As
it's not how
a
it's gonna go.
show, JoJo for sure, at least parts of it. It does get stupid at times, but I mean, so does Fist of the North Star. But
Fist of the North Star gets very stupid.
yeah, as a intro song, Fist of the North Star, all the way. Like it's both its intro songs are just dope as fuck. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
But JoJo's just more like, I don't know, it's more interesting and silly and fun.
There seems to be a lot more going on.
Yeah, yeah.
So, all right. So, if you haven't seen the episode, Jotaro versus Kenshiro, go do that because we're gonna spoil it here as we're talking about it, and the winner especially, because a lot of the questions have to do with how
Blank won. And that was your last warning.
Kenshiro won. There you go. I like slurred that out really weirdly.
Kenshiro.
Yeah. But we've got, I believe, 9 questions that have been pulled. So let's just jump right into it.
Okay, shoot.
All right. So the first one is, why didn't Jotaro stop time as soon as the fight started and just kill Kenshiro then?
I mean, okay, there's a couple layers that, one, you have to think of a character in some senses thematically. Have you ever seen him do that in the anime ever? No. He likes to give it a little while to try and learn what his opponent does and their abilities and powers before he gets to that point. And B, if you kind of assume a character is going to do, unless like, if it was in the character's character to start out with its biggest move first, that's a different story. But these are two characters that don't do that. So if you wanted to look at that, and we of course considered that, if you're going to have Kenshiro just start off immediately, like instance 1 with a time stop, you have to assume that Kenshiro in the first instance of the fight is going to do his strongest move as well, and like give them the benefit of the doubt in that way. And in that case, he would be intangible and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. We go through a lot of different steps for figuring out a winner. And one of the steps is to find or try to figure out how many different ways each character could theoretically win.
A great example is like how you figured out the Pokemon Battle Royale.
Yes, that is the most literal example you could possibly find, because Pokemon, thankfully, all their battle stats and stuff is all based on math. So we could literally mathematically figure out how many times Charizard would beat Blastoise or Blastoise would beat Venusaur and so on and so forth.
I remember that day, Ben.
Yeah.
It was you and I sitting at your desk putting together.
Yeah, it took a long time.
Yes, it did.
It took a long time because you can only put so many formulas to that and expect things to kind of like, you know, calculate themselves. But especially when you got a bunch of different moves. But for the most part, we have to kind of take it based on interpretations of how Jotaro's stand works, how Kenshiro's Muso Tensei works, and see how many times they can use, or how many different ways they can use those moves to kill their opponent. A really good example for that is actually the last one that we did, Raven versus Twilight. So many of their moves were like instant kill moves. So we kind of had to like figure out exactly if one had way more than the other, then that one would win, but that wasn't really the case for that one, so we had to take more of an approach with like the skill with the magic and the power of the magic and stuff like that. And it was very similar for this one as well. So basically the answer is there are plenty of ways that both characters could win right off the bat. Jotaro could use time stop, Kenshiro could use Muso Tensei and just rush him. Like there's plenty of ways. So it's more complicated than that. And the second question is, why didn't you mention Ken's power of activating pressure points from a distance? I kind of remember this coming up during the discussion.
Yeah, well, it's mainly because Ken has so many powers, and he can do that, but we also touched on, not great with Japanese pronunciation, but I believe it's Toki, which is one of his ways of essentially just like doing ki blasts and stuff like that. And he's got a lot of variations of that, and out of all of them, being able to touch pressure points from a distance seemed to be the least notable. And
I mean, because it's basically,
like, I mean, the guy's got a decade worth of moves. He's always learning new shit. Like, it's ridiculous.
I was a little less hands-on with this one than usual because I was helping with the upcoming episode, which has a new writer, which will be interesting when we talk about that. But if I remember right, the pressure points from a distance thing is just him using Toki to hit.
Essentially, yes. And that was another thing from everything we looked at in the instances of where he does it in his show or manga, it is a straight line thing, so it would not be able to get through Jojo's stand Star Platinum anyways. That would still work as a shield against it. So it really wasn't very different at all from the Toki that we have.
It wasn't a critical.
It
wasn't a critical factor in the fight, and there's already so much to cover.
Yeah, a lot of that.
I think there was a point in the episode where we mentioned that Kenshiro has so many different abilities, but here are a couple of the highlights. Essentially.
Yeah, he just goes on and on and on, and he makes them up on the fly. Like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and we talked about this with Twilight too. Like, we do make a show, and we want it to be entertaining, and it would be really boring if we just sat through and literally listed every single thing.
I know some people would like to see every single thing analyzed, but not only do we think that most of the audience wouldn't really care too much, we don't have the time to do that. Like, we got to make sure that we cover, you know, everything.
Yeah.
In an episode, we still take it into consideration.
Of course.
Also, like,
we don't have time to literally write it all out.
Especially
in a script form, because like analyzing and writing the script are two different steps. So two entirely different steps. So if we spend all of our time writing literally everything we analyzed, that like triples the workload for the writing portion.
More so
we
with
prefer to spend more
Kenshiro,
time
too.
in the analytical portion.
In this one, it's especially terrible because Kenshiro can master any martial art just by seeing it. So, and he, like, it's one of his abilities to, like, not necessarily gain, but he does have the skills of all the people he fights. So you'd literally have to go through every single character he's ever fought or seen fight in the entire 11 seasons or in all the manga and stuff. And then he's like, he's got all this shit. It would take days to go through. Exactly. It was like, you know, we consumed all that content. We know what's up. and we gave you the highlights because
It would take
years to
like
edit it.
the scripts that we write for these episodes. They're typically like they're about 15 minute to 20 minute long episodes. So the scripts are about that many pages. 15 pages in a script
Yeah,
generally
usually 15.
Translates to 15 minutes of an episode. We would have to write like 100-page script in order to cover all that stuff. That'd be crazy. Oh my
It's
God.
like a movie script almost, yeah.
Yeah. You know how long it takes to write a feature-length film? A long fucking time, that's what. All right, next question. Star Platinum's great eyesight can see through illusions, so why couldn't he see past Kenshiro's Muso Tensei? This actually kind of goes into another question, is are the Muso Tensei clones based on speed? And if so, wouldn't Jotaro's time stop affect that?
Okay, so on the first question, they're not illusions, so no.
They're not based on speed.
Well, that's the thing, and there's a reason for people to get confused. He has another Muso Tensei style like cloning thing that is based on speed, but the Muso Tensei version isn't. So I think that's where some people got confused, because he does have that, where it's essentially
He moves so fast,
After
he creates after
yeah. I mean, we've seen that with the Flash and a lot of speedster characters.
Classic
but
Dragon Ball.
He can do that, but this version of it is not that. It's the Muso Tensei version where they're not illusions.
He's just intangible.
Yeah. Well, and there's multiple of him or multiple of his allies or enemies that he's killed and stuff. Like so.
That he like summons, essentially? It is really vague.
Yeah. Their spirit energy comes forth, so maybe
Their fighting spirit comes back.
spirit.
Yeah, which I didn't include the question, but because we kind of cover this in the fight, but we say that Kenshiro can see Star Platinum because of the fighting spirit, although see might not be the right term. It's the same.
Sense.
He can
He can
sense it,
sense.
not see it.
It's the same kind of thing that we did with Naruto versus Ichigo, where Naruto could sense Ichigo's like presence and his movements in a way so that good enough for him to actually fight him and be able to block his attacks.
Yeah, and
Same
there was an
kind
example of him doing that. He fought somebody who was invisible, right? Or whatever it was.
He's fought multiple people that are either invisible or have used magic to create illusions, et cetera, et cetera.
And he can
or
sense
he's
where they're
blind.
fighting spirit. Yeah.
Okay, about Star Platinum's speed, because I know there's some contention about this. We said that Star Platinum is like relativistic speeds. He's maybe a little under light speed. But the author, we based that on, we literally showed it, a page where the author of Jojo says that Star Platinum is light speed. And so the question is, why are we making like an assumption that he's not that fast, and why aren't we sticking to Word of God or the what the author says out of canon? And the reason why we weren't, I can cover this one. The reason why we didn't just go straight to that line and say that it was absolutely like accurate is because not only did it seem to contradict itself with what actually happens in the series, but it also seemed to be talking about the time stop, which is what we did say. We did say in the episode that like technically with time stop he can move faster than light because he stops time and he moves over there and
time stops, light stops moving, and then he moves, which means he's faster than light at that time. So it's technically not wrong to say that he's faster than light. It's just that you have to include the time stop in that. And then on top of that, it's also, we take what is actually there rather than what's been said usually as the word of God in almost all cases, because that's what's actually, happened. And there's a lot, even, God, I can't remember his name. I want to say it's Araki, the author of it, has said that those guidelines and character guides are kind of loose. So
yeah, I've always been a little hesitant to just take any like guidebooks and stuff. Those typically have to go through some kind of screening process, so usually they are absolutely correct. But sometimes an author won't quite remember their series exactly on par, or they never even planned on discussing like a certain character's speed or how strong they were, and then it just kind of comes up in an interview or something like that, and they just have to make something up on the spot. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it will actually fit with what the character is or has been in that series the entire time. Yeah. So we got to take Word of God statements with a grain of salt.
Right, but I remember we did this in Dragon Ball for something where Toriyama had said, like, essentially something's this way, and then later, like, when they got to that point in the story, I think it was with Super, it was like, they just, like, nah, let's not do it that way.
There have been some inconsistent quotes.
Yeah.
But, and also, like, it's not that we just don't pay attention to those. Like, those are great jumping off points. Like, we see an author say something like that, and it's like
That's in the video
it's like,
for a reason.
They're like, oh shit, and then we go, okay, well, let's see if there's anything to support that. Or sometimes we find something that's insane, but it's like really hard to calculate, and then you have like a statement from something like that, and you're like, oh, there you go. It makes sense because you see this here, and that would explain it.
And it's the same thing if an author said that this character is not faster than the speed of light, and then in the show, canonically, they do something that is very, very clearly faster than the speed of light, we're going to question that as well and, come out with a similar conclusion.
Superman is an excellent example of that. Yeah. There are lots of authors of Superman who, that also comes to the fact that he's got multiple authors, but they will say like, oh, he's not faster than light, he's not strong enough to move planets, that's not how strong Superman is. But then another author will take over and then he is. So it's just like, well, maybe when that guy was writing he wasn't, but he is now, sorry. But yeah, and then, let's see, I think I got like 3 more questions. Oh, 2 more. Why didn't we use Star Platinum's reality overwrite? And kind of explain what that is a bit.
So in, I can't remember the name, it was one of the fighting games. Heaven
Over
Above?
Heaven?
Over Heaven, Heaven Above, Over Heaven, one of those. Star Platinum / Jojo uses a thing that essentially rewrites reality. And why we didn't use that is, A, it's non-canonical. If it was, you would see that in seasons 4, 5, and 6, which none of that shit happens. Like characters that die come back to life in that, but in the show, none of that shit ever happens. They're not back life. Another reason is just anyone with those reality bending kind of things aren't really suited for a death battle. But more so, it's just that it's not it's not a canonical character thing. That's like...
Sure, I mean, the reality warping thing as for a character in Death Battle, like bringing Dr. Manhattan in Death Battle, something like that, would be a challenge to write. But that doesn't necessarily, excuse not using a power. The main thing is that, at least from what I understand from you and Noel's discussions, this other story is like a parallel universe kind of story.
Yeah, it is.
Which is, it does technically use the same Jotaro, but it's like as the story continues, this Jotaro becomes a different Jotaro with different powers and different abilities, and it's a different storyline. So it becomes, we've often talked about how we use, why am I blanking on the term of like...
Amalgamation?
Yeah, essentially. We use composite.
Composite, yeah.
We use composite characters to a certain extent. We don't like bringing in feats from characters from like other sources where they're clearly supposed to be a different character. So like if we go back to Goku or something like that, actually, we've got Yamcha in the community death battle later. Let's use Yamcha. This is a perfect example. Yamcha in the normal story of Dragon Ball he's not a failure, but he kind of is, right? He's not the strongest guy at all in the team. There is an alternate story where he's possessed by somebody, and that somebody makes him the strongest person ever. We would not use that Yamcha, if we were using Yamcha in a death battle, we would not use that Yamcha, that other Yamcha who's the strongest ever, because that's clearly a different Yamcha. He's got a very different story, very different powers. He's got another mind in his head. There's all sorts of things going on. Like that is a different iteration of the character. But if there's but we wouldn't necessarily make the difference between the anime Yamcha and the manga Yamcha because they're still going along the same lines of the story. They have similar feats, similar abilities, etc. Jotaro in this other storyline clearly is a different Jotaro.
Yeah, and if he did have the reality warping abilities, why wouldn't he use them in all the
a whole bunch
future,
of times?
Exactly.
Well, all the future
it just
seasons
proves that it's
in
a
the
parallel
anime,
thing.
like why would he die?
Yeah. And I mean,
die in the anime.
if you really want to include reality overwrite, then of course he's gonna win.
Side note,
Like of course he's gonna win. He just rewrites reality. Like whatever.
Wouldn't it be funny if the next Dragon Ball Super, or even the movie, which I think we'll talk about later, was Yamcha Black? Like how they had Goku Black. That would be
fucking awesome. That's how they bring him back.
That would be dope.
Yeah, like
Oh my God!
evil hair.
You're saying is Yamcha from another timeline. But yeah, so that kind of covers that. And then the last question is just kind of asking, it's just generally asking what was going on during the time stop in the animation. I think we kind of covered it pretty well in the episode, but I know some people, it's kind of a confusing little scenario.
Yeah, time stopping.
Yeah. Well, because not only was Jotaro time stopping, but Kenshiro was using Muso Tensei, which makes him intangible at the time. So then when Star Platinum, who can also go intangible to reach into other people, came up to Kenshiro to reach into his body to crush his heart, he couldn't because Kenshiro was already intangible. And then when the time stop ends, Kenshiro was able to get behind Jotaro just because that's an anime thing, and he had already killed him because he had hit him earlier. That's generally what happened in the fight at the very end.
Yeah.
So there you go, play-by-play explanation. All right, and that kind of wraps up the questions for it. But I also want to do a quick shout out to the animator for the episode.
I was just about to say.
Zach, our longtime Death Battle 2D animator who really stepped up his game for this one.
Yeah, he was really excited about
dope job.
using the hand-drawn elements, and he did a really great job.
I feel like this is probably one of certainly the best fight I've gotten to take part in, like as far as flavor goes and everything. Like it just feels so.
It tastes good?
Well, it's just right for the characters and the franchise. Like it all feels good. Like the music's there, the animation's there.
How
It's
does
just
it taste?
it's
Is it
fucking
spicy?
good.
I'll tell you what it didn't taste like. Not like cheese or cheese puffs.
I don't know what you're getting at.
Oh God.
Anyways.
Wait a minute.
So what's next? Do you have a thing? You have a
Some of them
transition.
are-
I do have a transition to get to, but
Wait, why are some of them
we can
gone?
just do that right now. How about we just transition to our next segment? What's going on?
No. I don't know why I said that like it was gonna go to a different show or something. What happened?
Well, Torian,
Well, Torian,
I can tell you right now.
What happened?
Hey, Torian. Oh my God. Actually,
You guys
this is
made
way
me
worse
feel.
than I
You
thought.
guys made me feel bad for eating. Did someone eat these?
I think we'll discuss that in our post show.
What?
Sudden death.
there has been a violation, and it will not go unanswered.
That's in like
It may have
40
happened.
minutes. I need to know now.
You can find out in the post
Well,
show.
here,
Make sure you
we'll-
watch the
we'll
post show. We're going to talk about the cheese puff incident.
Incident.
You'll see.
Yeah.
Yes.
This
All
one
right.
like dropped them.
Don't worry, it should only be 22 minutes if we stay on time.
Yeah, there you go.
We never do, but
No.
Well,
we're gonna
let's
fucking
speed
try.
through and we'll see if we can. What's going on with that new Dragon Ball trailer?
This.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really
There's a
quick.
Dragon Ball Super movie coming out. Yeah, like the series is ending, what, this week or something like that? Or is it
Shit,
next
I think it's Saturday or Sunday.
We showed all. Cookie's just like,
The animation for this trailer looks so good.
Yeah.
I know. Like,
The
look at
line
him.
art, it looks all inky and stuff. It looks great.
he's like carefree and happy. He's like, oh, look at me, I'm good. Cookie's
Yes,
jumping
but the
around.
big
And
thing
then
that
this
this
shit
shows-
happens.
He's like getting ready.
There's a brand new character. And there's some information for the new character that has been discussed by Toei and Toriyama. Specifically that whoever this character is, it's another Saiyan. He is not from Goku's time. And also that this movie will explore the origins of the Saiyans.
Yeah, that's really cool. My first thought when I saw that was, I'm like, it kind of looks like Super Saiyan 4.
It does. It's got the yellow eyes, it's got
Yeah.
the hanging black hair.
And the fur.
Well, it's got
It's
got the fur like
Like he's wearing something.
clothes, which is similar to what the ancient Saiyans wore in like flashbacks.
I
Was
think
that fur clothes or was that his actual fur popping out of bracers?
Yeah, look. See, yeah, it looks like a fur. Yeah,
Oh,
it looks
it
like a
is.
He's
fur.
wearing
Okay,
fur
it
clothes
was really
over
quick.
like
Yeah.
old school Saiyan armor. It looks like.
Yeah.
When I seen the green, I thought it was like Broly, and I was like, oh yeah.
The green energy made me think of Broly at first, but it also made me think there is one other character who is supposed to have the same kind of energy as that,
Oh, it's Broly.
as Broly. There was an original legendary Super Saiyan, the one that Vegeta talks
So wait,
about all the time.
okay. So like, is the legendary Super Saiyan strength just a different type of strength?
It's based on the Broly transformation and
Because like he was way more powerful
what's his
than.
name? Kale in Super. It's a different Super Saiyan transformation.
Okay.
So
Interesting. Do you know what?
possible it might be the original Super Saiyan
Wait, Kale,
who
one of
also
the-
was the first Super Saiyan God, sort of.
One of the chicks in Super.
Kale.
Yo, look at that japping bro fist.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
So one of the girls in Super has the legendary Super Saiyan.
Yes, from the other universe.
Really?
I have a hunch
Did
that
you?
this
We've talked
guy,
about this before. I swear we've talked about this before.
We've talked about
I'm pretty
the
sure-
girls Super Saiyans. I didn't know one of them had like different Super Saiyan power.
This guy's gonna be from one of the other universes.
You think so?
Well, I think so, because like as far as their universe goes, now that they're friends with like Whis and like they have King Kai's, like they're friends with like all the fucking gods, and they had to gather the 10 most powerful people in the world, and the gods were like, "Yep, these are the 10 most powerful people in our universe." So like, what are they gonna do? It's gonna be from somewhere else.
I mean, it could be.
And my other thought of that is like, not that I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just telling you they're going to win the fucking tournament because
Anime.
it's anime.
sure.
Like, and when they do
would
that,
be
they've
very
already
surprised if they
explained that I think there's 11 universes. Only 8 of them were fighting, I think. But there's 2 or 3 other universes that weren't even included in it because they're just way too strong for those guys. So it's gonna be a Saiyan from one of those because he's gonna watch Goku win the fucking tournament and be stronger than all 8 of the other universes. And then he's gonna be like, shit, I wanna fight that guy. And then fucking movie.
Unless
Or
Frieza
he-
is the one who wins.
Or he interrupts.
Well,
what
yeah.
it's kind of building up.
Or he interrupts
Yeah.
the end of the tournament. Like it's about to do the finale, and then this guy shows up.
I was
and ruins
thinking about that, because if Super is ending in one episode, and they haven't even, like, they're still in the final fight, and we still don't know what Frieza's doing.
I thought
Like,
the final fight was over the last episode.
is it?
I haven't watched
I
Super
haven't
at
watched
all.
the last episode.
I don't want to spoil it because it was literally like last week's episode.
All right.
Well, does it look like they would be able to wrap up everything in just the whatever episode is coming up?
I mean, it's a tournament arc.
Yeah, like 5 episodes, they showed that there was like 2 minutes on the clock, and they haven't gone back to the fucking clock yet. So, like, because, like, I'm just gonna go ahead and guess, because we got multiple people alive, and then the other universe only has 1 dude alive who's a badass. The clock's gonna run out, no one's gonna get knocked out, and we're just gonna have more people than they do, and it's gonna be like, great job, guys. Fucking over.
I mean, could he not
Technicality
knock
win.
out everyone
And it-
in within like a minute? He seems to be that powerful. To knock out, couldn't he just knock out everybody within like?
The new Ultra Instinct.
Well, not, you mean Jiren?
Yeah.
Bad guy?
Can he just knock out everybody if he wanted to?
He's pretty fucked up too now.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
I just have one request for this new character. Please don't make him look like Goku.
He kind of does.
I
though.
know, and I just don't want it.
Close up of his eyes. The first thing I thought of when I saw the close up of his eyes,
Bardock?
if you want to bring that up, is Bardock,
Yeah.
like son fighting father, which hasn't happened, and
Yeah.
would be kind of interesting, I guess.
That actually would be kind of cool. But Bardock's dead though, right?
I'm telling you.
Possibly, I don't know.
This is past Bardock.
Well,
They can
So
justify-
okay, I got a
they can
question about,
justify anything.
Bardock, and I started thinking about
Yamcha
this.
Black, I'm telling you.
I started thinking about this recently because Bardock is coming to the game, right? So at one point, Bardock goes Super Saiyan in one of these movies or something.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he do that against Frieza?
Because he could. Okay, what happens is, for some reason, somehow, when Frieza's destroying planet Vegeta and Bardock is right there as the blast is hitting him, it doesn't kill him. It sends him back in time to planet Vegeta before it was planet Vegeta, when it was planet Plant, and the Saiyans hadn't arrived yet, and he just turns Super Saiyan there.
Oh.
And that's how he becomes the first
so
legendary
he's still
Super
alive!
Saiyan.
The theory was that, maybe he is the legendary Super Saiyan, or the Saiyan of legend. But it's kind of dumb, so I think most
yeah, that
Dragon Ball
had-
fans don't really, like, subscribe to
But
that
that means
idea.
he's still alive.
Yeah, because they've never done dumb shit with Dragon Ball.
Sure. Well, it's also a movie, so, like,
means
the
he's
movies aren't
still
necessarily
alive.
canon. Yeah.
Bardock can come back.
So that's why a theory is that Bardock has been alive this whole time, or has been time hopping somehow and has achieved legendary status. I don't know. That's one theory. I think my favorite theory, and what I'm hoping for, is that it is the original legendary Super Saiyan who wins Super Saiyan God.
That is not Bardock.
How
not-
strong
yeah,
is
the
legendary
actual
Super Saiyan? Is it higher
What
than
Vegeta chats about all the
The
time?
one Vegeta chats about when he wants
I thought
to
he
become
blew
Super Saiyan.
himself up was the story.
The story is that his power became so great that he died, but that's just kind of a story. There's also the story that he becomes the first Super Saiyan God, and then when Goku becomes Super Saiyan God in Battle of Gods, the Saiyan's name is Yamoshi's spirit appears and supposedly like goes into Goku in order to create Super Saiyan God somehow. There's something going on there. It's really vague.
Yeah, and they could easily justify, like, what if, his power got so great, everyone thought he died, but really it just sent him through time, and then he had to work on, like, learning how to travel through time.
Or his spirit has been in Goku the whole time and he's been like drawing off power and now he can create a physical body. They can make all sorts of excuses.
So wait, I got one more question. On the scale, where is legendary Super Saiyan? Is it higher than 3? Is it higher than Ascended Saiyan? Is it under God?
Just the one in the new Super tournament, like, beat the shit out of Goku while he was blue, so yeah.
When they were fused.
No, before that.
Before that? Oh, yeah, you're right. She did the Hulk thing on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the chick
That's
beat up
also-
Goku.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan Blue has been kind of,
Like
throughout
lackluster.
Super, it's been kind of like inconsistent, like dropping in power in a way.
Well, I imagine like so many other people have showed up that are like way more powerful than that.
Well, at this point, they got Krillin back in the arena. Like, they don't care about these like, scales anymore.
But even then, like, I mean, when he was fighting the other Super Saiyan chick from that universe, like, he just never even went past Super Saiyan 1 for the longest time because he was just like, chill, we're just gonna fucking spar. And then he was trying to get her to go Super Saiyan 2 like the whole fucking time.
For Khalifa?
Yeah, just because he wanted to have more fun.
Which, back when Kale was first revealed in that teaser, and we didn't know who she was, but she looked exactly like Brawly, I predicted her name would be based off of Cauliflower. And then the other one was based off of Cauliflower.
So close.
Like, damn it, I was so close.
I really need to watch Super. I haven't watched it at all.
Man, I would skip so much of it.
Just go for the tournament.
Super so badly needs Dragon Ball Super Kai. Like, so bad.
Yeah.
It's like, holy fuck, this season, like this whole tournament arc had like, 30 episodes of filler.
Every time I jump into it,
crazy.
for whatever reason, I jump right into some filler. And
I mean,
what the hell?
it's just like
You
old
can-
school Dragon Ball, where it just kind of drags.
The entire time they're getting the 10 people, which are 10 characters you already fucking know.
Yeah, but those fights are awesome.
What fights?
Like the training fights, essentially, when Goku tests him.
Yeah, but there's no weight to anything because they're just all fucking training.
Sure.
Like, watch the episode where Gohan and Piccolo train. Watch it when he meets Android 17 again, and then where he picks up Frieza, and that's the 3 or 4 episodes you need out of the 30 that they do to gather the fucking team.
Jeez, 30 for 10 people?
I think it's about 30. It's insane. Like, it's crazy.
It's Dragon Ball. It takes forever to get anything done.
Yeah.
And every so often you have a spike of really awesome moments.
I'm waiting to do, because once Super ends, I'm waiting to do a desk of on like what a Dragon Ball minute is, because I think the Super tournament I think it starts at 60 minutes or something like that. And I mean, it's been 20 some episodes now, so it's like well over the 10-hour mark.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that certain episodes are taking place like concurrent with.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he wants to figure out.
Yeah, I want to go in there and look at like what's happening here, what's happening, like how do we know that like this is all like.
What is the timeline of each event?
yeah.
That'd be really interesting. And you could kind of apply that to the Frieza blown up Namek as well.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. I like that. That's a good idea.
Because I swear, one of the last episodes, like, is a lot of them talking and stuff, exhibition, and like only 1 minute goes by on the clock. But the whole time they're just pretty much talking and fighting, and it just follows Goku and like one other dude for 30 minutes, but that's only a minute on the clock. So it's like, what's a Dragon Ball minute?
Super last question. With all these new characters, right? Jiren and the Super Saiyan legendary chicks or whatever. Where are the gods of destructions on the powers? Are they still more powerful than even Jiren and all of them? Like, where's Beerus on the power scale? Is he still top dog or is he? Okay.
I mean,
He's still tough, but
Beerus.
supposedly, yes, because there's a thing where like the gods of destruction have enough power to destroy the universe just by punching at each other or things like that. Whereas if Goku in Ultra Instinct had that same power, then as they're fighting in the tournament, like they would have destroyed all their universes. But like, it's just inconsistent in that way.
but Vegeta kills one, so.
He kills the god of destruction?
All right.
Kill-
All right.
Was it like a weak one?
It's a little debatable, but
We'll see.
What?
Watch Super. Just watch it. Just wait. Find the episode.
Just hit me with
find
the episodes where the
they-
fights happen.
Yeah, send
Watch
me the
one where
10
they
episodes
start
I need to
fighting,
watch.
Send me
and then
the-
just watch it. That's all.
Send me the Vegeta one, the legendary Super Saiyan chicks, the Ultra Instinct. Send me the good one.
And those training ones that you mentioned.
Like Krillin and 18 fight like a bird person. That's a really good fight. Watch that one.
Send me the bird person fight.
Just
wants
all the
when
fights.
tournament starts, start watching.
just all the good
That's-
fights.
I'll send you whatever
Okay.
episode it is, and then
All
you
right.
just watch
Universe,
it till now.
the Universal or the Tournament of Power arc and the Future Trunks arc.
I want to
Both
watch the
arcs.
hit
Both
arc.
really
I never watched the hit arc, and people tell me that's a good one. When
that
Goku
one's
fights
alright.
hit.
Yeah, but then this one, like, they kind of make hit lame now.
Oh no.
Really? Of course they do.
Apparently someone like, I heard this from someone, apparently like someone just like wrecks him. Like,
And then do they befriend him, and now he kind of makes these.
All right, well, before we spoil everything about Dragon Ball Super,
Not yet.
before we spoil everything about Dragon Ball Super, there's also a new Deadpool movie coming out.
Yeah.
We just got a trailer for that.
Yep.
You guys excited for that?
looks
What
cool.
do you think is gonna happen with this one? Like,
So,
it's gonna work?
one-
It's gonna be good?
I'm super stoked that we get Cable, because Cable's such a badass character. Still a little disappointed that he wasn't played by Ron Perlman. I was really excited when that guy wanted to do that, but no. Anyway, no, but like
Josh Brolin is pretty good.
He's a great actor. I know. I just like I swear to God, like Ron Perlman might actually be Cable. But like no, he looks really good and it's gonna be great. What's really interesting is they seem to be like, so Apocalypse didn't do well at all. The Age of Apocalypse movie. But so Cable's whole thing is that he goes back in time and tries to deal with Apocalypse, right? And so during
He's from the future, a future where Apocalypse has ruined everything.
he got sent to the future, and then it's a whole fucking convoluted thing with Cable. But so I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, what's this story gonna be about? And then it goes like, get me the child, and that's when I'm like, oh shit. So what I'm thinking this takes place is, so there's a moment where like the sect or the cult of Apocalypse like makes a new En Sabanur, and he's this kid, and they're trying to raise him right, but then like X Factor has to deal with him. I don't want to like. I'm really worried this is actually the
there's a-
You
plot.
were talking about. You were talking about a kid.
We have a desk of death battle that I wrote on this, and it's like the better parts of Deadpool, because they were like, in the car, we were like, oh, Deadpool saving a kid, I don't know about that. It's like, nah, that's the best part of Deadpool, is like,
Yeah. So
and I assume this story is going to roughly follow that.
I'm wondering if, I don't want to say because I think they may actually be following along the storyline, so I don't want to say what happens, but it could either be following that version of Apocalypse, or there's actually another one that was also a child that it could be following. So I'm wondering. Now, it could not be Apocalypse, but like with...
It could be an interpretation of it.
Yeah.
It's like it looks like Apocalypse.
Maybe. I mean, they showed him with like fire
Yeah.
powers?
Yeah.
Like really quickly.
Apocalypse could do a lot of different things.
Well,
Yeah.
that was in that arc. I'm pretty sure that's what young Apocalypse does. Is he gets really pissed off and accidentally like levels like a city block like that because he doesn't know how to control his powers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing, because like right around that time, it has to deal with Deadpool, it has to deal with X Factor, and it has to deal with Cable. So like, we're checking the boxes for the
So
story. that they're probably going
who is in our team of ragtag mutants? There's Deadpool. There's
Terry Crews?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know,
so
right?
yeah, no, well, I'm saying, like,
I
what
never
mutants
follow
are
X
they?
Factor. I never remember
Like,
who's
what
who.
mutants are they? Like, this is Domino,
we
right?
got
That's
Domino.
clearly
We got-
supposed to be Domino. The lady with the iPad.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead is
Negasonic
back.
That's the one.
Warhead.
Terry Crews is playing, I think, Bridge or something like that. I don't know much about him.
So that's Domino, right? Like with
Yes.
the iPad.
She can manipulate luck.
The Colossus is back, right?
Yes.
Colossus is back. Apparently, also we got Cable and Apocalypse. You guys
Maybe.
said?
And
Okay.
that guy from Silicon Valley, he's there.
Okay.
No, that's a new actor, isn't it?
No.
No, that's the guy. He was the
bartender.
Deadpool one.
Yeah.
Ehrlich Bachman.
I thought they swapped him out.
No, it's still him.
They
It's the
didn't?
same guy, I think.
He's from the
Right?
first one.
It looked different.
No, he's from the first one.
Yeah, I know, but then he had a big sex scandal, and I could have sworn they swapped him out.
Really?
Wait, the Ehrlich Bachman guy had a big sex scandal? Or is that the
I don't
different
know
one now?
about big.
Now I'm really confused.
Now we're all.
I don't know.
We don't know what we're talking about.
It's Deadpool, so it could be a part of this. Who knows?
Yeah.
Point is,
It looks good.
Out
I'm
of
excited.
franchises to swap actors in, that is the easiest franchise you're gonna get.
Right.
Yeah.
And they'll love it too, because Deadpool will make a little knowledge and be like, "You're not the same guy I talked to
You
before."
look different.
Yeah, you look different. Yeah.
I am a little.
Deadpool, how we can write the easiest laugh. Like,
It does feel. The only thing that's kind of worrying me is that the trailer does feel very much like a standard Marvel formula movie.
Yeah.
Kind of does.
Bad guy shows up, or the superhero's doing his thing, having fun. Bad guy shows up, beats the shit out of Deadpool, and Deadpool has to go rescue somebody and figure out how to beat the bad guy.
With a team of ragtag
with the
with
team.
Terry Crews.
The X-Force thing, I don't know about.
Man,
that.
you know what, too?
Because they announced that they were going to be bringing X-Force into the Fox Marvel universe, and that Deadpool would be involved with it. But it sounded like they were going to be two separate franchises, two separate movies. And they are going to be making an X-Force movie after this. Deadpool 3 is not going to have the X-Force. Or if it will, it's going to be like a smaller thing.
And also First Class and Days of Future Past did so well having that kind of like young cast of mutants coming up, and like, you're right. They could be really just like, let's follow all the formulas that worked.
Which would be strange.
Yeah.
Because it's Deadpool. And Deadpool broke all the formulas, the original one. Like, not to a super great extent that I think a lot of people like give it, because if you look at the Deadpool movie and you take Deadpool's personality out of it, it is a pretty by the books kind of superhero movie. But it's just told in such a fun way with such a fun character that it does break that mold.
Yeah.
So when you kind of like, I feel like if you're gonna take the focus off of Deadpool a little bit, it might feel a bit more.
I don't know.
But we'll see. I don't know.
Maybe the way they
just
present
speculating.
Deadpool will trickle off into how they present the other mutants.
I hope so.
Like, cause I look at the Deadpool movies not only for I'm not the biggest Deadpool fan. I'm more interested in all the characters surrounding him, like One Punch Man. Like the thing about One Punch Man.
Like One Punch Man in Deadpool too.
Yeah, like the thing about Saitama is that he's so powerful and he's super bored with it. It's the comic. I mean, the manga is more so written to where it shines on everyone else and the world around him. So if they do something like this for the mutants that is better than Apocalypse or some of the not so good X-Men movies, then I'm all about that. Like, I'm looking forward to finding more, like seeing more of Negasonic Teenage Warhead and all the mutants that, come with her. Yeah. More than Deadpool himself.
I'm really excited to see what they do with Domino.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to see
think
Colossus.
he could be a really good character for this.
I've always liked Colossus as a character.
Me too. But like, I really love how they portrayed him, how they worked with him in the first
movie
where he's just like a big dumb idiot with a heart of gold or metal or whatever you want. Just as like a contrast.
Gold is
to
metal,
Deadpool.
just for the record. But
Yep, that's true. Anyway, moving on. Let's see what's going on with the community. We've got some art to show off. Check it out.
Cool.
So this is Snappy, Boomstick's turtle.
That's so cute.
Adorable.
Dope.
Yeah, I love it. We have canon. That's canon now.
Snappy has been, this is just what he looks like.
Yep.
and what? You have a dog, Jack Daniels, right?
Jack Spaniels.
Yeah,
Spaniels.
Boomstick has a dog named Jack Spaniels and a turtle named Snappy. These are just random things that have come up during, the rundowns or the previews.
Those previews.
Wiz has a rat named, what did I call it? I can't remember. Ratsputin.
Rasputin.
Yeah, because he's immune to poison.
And might be into sorcery.
I'm gonna put Blastoise cannons on Snappy soon.
I think,
Canonically.
Yeah.
I want to say
We might have. That might have been where we talked about
I
it.
think that's where we introduced Snappy, actually. Snappy has been a character, like a background character that's been brought up every so often for several years.
So,
Also,
hey, on
what
this,
is
okay,
happening
real
in this
quick.
one?
Back on that art,
That one.
if we have it. If not, I can talk about it later. So here's the only thing. Well, that was when I talked about. You remember, like, if we were gonna have her hands,
right.
They need to be on the wings. But here's the thing: aren't the bat's hands? They're not on the tips, aren't they? The little things right above.
They're the little. You can see them, right?
Yeah,
there.
the little
They're
nubs right in the
claws.
middle there.
Yeah.
Because they don't actually have like hands. They just have little claws that stick out of the like elbows of the wings.
But I think there are little claws in the end too, so that might work
Maybe.
too. Maybe
Yeah, I
it just
think
has
it's fine.
4 hands.
it's just really silly looking.
I'm just saying, but that's realistically what if we're gonna try and get a
I
little
feel like
closer
that's
to
even
Rouge.
better though. You have a much larger wingspan.
No, that's good.
I know she could wrap herself up in it. She'd look so more ominous. It'd be better for stealth as a secret agent.
True.
They really
Plus the guns while flying.
they really made Rouge the Bat like straight up sexy.
Yeah, we had a whole.
Yeah, they could
They did not
probably
like
calm it down. But then again, like look at Sally.
look at her hips. Look at her little. She got the little bustier to just pump her up. Like
Pretty sure
They-
Sexy Animals was at like the genesis of Sonic. Like,
Thanks, Sally.
yeah.
Like, cause they just could
know
have
if it
went
was
like
Genesis of Sonic,
they
but-
could have went like the route what they did with Cream, where it's just kind of like just this normal little animal or whatever. But they was like, this bat's gonna be sexy.
Yeah, and although I
just
would
tell
You
me,
think Cream's design is better than Rouge's?
No.
Well,
I'm saying like, cause Cream's
it's-
design is like less.
more honest to the animal.
Someone help me here because it's been a while. Is there a character named Cream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One of the
Much better now.
characters.
Okay.
Sorry, I realized now how that sounded to you.
She was introduced in Sonic Boom, right?
No. Cream was introduced in Sonic Advance 2, though originally just created for Sonic Heroes.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different character then. I'm thinking of the little character in Sonic Boom.
Not the raccoon, the badger?
With, yeah, she has like a little
the
boomerang.
Sticks?
Yeah.
Sticks.
Yeah, that is her name.
I know Sonic things.
Sticks.
You do. You know a lot of
Apparently.
them.
Sticks.
I don't know why
Catechus versus Catman.
That's good.
Yep.
I like how I have whiskers.
Like the Wisdom Boomstick concept.
That's
there.
cool.
And we also have a community comment that I think we should share right now. This is from Malcolm Joestar, and he says, "Fun fact: JoJo Bizarre's Adventures writer,
Hirohiko?
Trying to-
Hirohiko
Araki. Okay.
Yeah.
Drew an image of Kenshiro. I think this is around part 7 and 8, considering how fabulous Araki makes Kenshiro look. Look at him.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
He's too fabulous for me.
What is
There-
going on with his pants?
That was something.
They're only held up by his erection.
That was something that we didn't really like mess with because there's something that points to the fact that Fist of the North Star is in the JoJo
I
universe.
saw something about maybe it was like a TV show?
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
like
it's on in the background. One of his friends, JoJo's friends, is watching it. And but
Because Jotaro is heavily inspired by Kenshiro.
yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, even Star Platinum's like shoulder pads are based off of Kenshiro's. That's what Araki said, at least. It's like he drew it with inspiration from Fist of the North Star. So yeah, it's like, I mean, kind of technically supposed to be there, but at the same time, the characters never really mention it. So
Yeah, if it's just like an Easter egg like that, it's a little
yeah,
hard to
I think it's
really
more so
justify it.
Araki just paying homage to me, like, this is a dope show, loved it. That's why I got into the stuff. Like,
You
so
know what that art reminded me of? It's like if JoJo was in Nanbaka. Like,
Oh my God, yeah.
He would fit in perfectly.
Like 3 people watching know what we're talking about. But yeah, that would totally fit.
Nambaka's
I mean,
weird show.
JoJo's kind of like
Real
colorful designs always. Like when I first saw Nambaka, I thought of, well, at least what I had known
JoJo.
of JoJo at the time.
They love
Yeah, JoJo's fun, or not, JoJo's fun, but like Nambaka's fun. If you don't know what we're talking about, look up Nambaka.
If you want to see sparkles on everything when they have no business being there, Nanbaka.
Yeah. All right, and that kind of wraps that up. So I think it's time for the community death battle. And this week
right.
we've got Yamcha versus Aquaman.
Stomp.
What?
The ridiculous fight of the characters who are both incredibly powerful and yet absolute failures.
yeah, this thing, like, everybody always like shits on Yamcha and Krillin and stuff, but as far as like humans go, they, like, if you were just to like not worry about the intergalactic problems of Dragon Ball, Yamcha and Krillin are so fucking, they can literally fly. Everybody else is driving cars and Yamcha and Krillin are like, fuck this.
They can take over the world.
Yeah, no
Absolutely.
doubt. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, Goku as a child destroyed an army. Like, Krillin now could just decimate the world. Like, it'd be fine.
I mean,
Like,
I think Krillin's definitely like a planet buster type of level, but I'm assuming Yamcha is, because he's more powerful than Goku was back then.
yeah,
Is
and I
Tien
mean,
not powerful than Yamcha though?
Who?
Tien.
Oh, Tien. Oh, yeah, Tien's obvious. Like, Tien and Krillin kept training.
Yeah.
Whereas Yamcha quit.
he plays
because
baseball.
he was,
Trying to get the
back
ladies.
baseball.
and
Okay.
baseball.
All right.
He just got depressed
I was
because everybody
talking
else is
about
stronger
this
than him.
with Noel earlier. Like, considering Hercule is like, everybody's like, this is the strongest fucking dude in the world. Yamcha has to be decimating at baseball. Like, how is he not just changing the sport? Like, he should just be like,
That's true.
everybody's just like, fucking home run, can't even find the ball, it's in space now. Like, he should be killing it
He
on
should be like killing it. Like,
He could steal every base, like
Yeah.
instantly. Like,
He could just legit fly over them because
Yeah.
he can do that. Like,
oh, that's gonna be a home
He
run, and
moves
then
so
you
fast
just
nobody notices.
yeah.
He just moves over there so fastly and nobody can see him. And they're like, oh, he got over there somehow.
I mean, they have that scene, like, I don't know why, but the characters in Dragon Ball try not to let people know that's going on. Like, there's this scene from Super where Hercule, I think it is, wants Goku to like take a dive, and so like Hercule like punches him, and Goku like flies back, and then you see him pick up his tractor and go over the building in the background, and the crowd thinks Hercule like beat the shit out of him. It's really funny.
Yeah,
but,
there's something that happened because like in old Dragon Ball, like people would fly around in these public tournaments, no problem.
Yeah.
And then in like the later Dragon Ball, all the main characters like avoid doing that, and then when like Goten and Trunks start doing it in the junior division, everybody's just completely shocked.
Yeah, I remember.
It's like, what the fuck?
I loved that part too because they all everyone's like, "What the hell?"
But anyway, we do have 2 arguments from you guys. You can always use the hashtag DeathBattleCast to interact with the show and tell us who you think wins in a community death battle. And we've got one for Yamcha from Zerato. And he says that Yamcha should win because he fought Ola Boo, who was on par with Pecan, the same guy who beat both Frieza and Cell at the same time. Now, you probably don't know who this guy is, because Ola Boo had like 2 episodes of filler, and then he was never mentioned again. So Ola Boo was originally King Kai's strongest fighter in the North Quadrant. King Kai runs the North Quadrant of the galaxy. Ola Boo was going to be his like main guy in the tournament that the Grand Kai held.
Oh, so
Remember that?
one stop. How the fuck did Dragon Ball Universe, where the universe has a north?
There's like a whole diagram about how the galaxy is structured with like Otherworld and the galaxy and the hell and stuff like that. And it's very bizarre how it's all built. But anyway, Ola Boo was his top guy, and he's basically like He-Man. He looks exactly like He-Man. And he was on par with Pecan. Pecan beat him in the tournament, but he was kind of like on par with him for a long time, and everybody figured those are the 2 strongest guys until Goku showed up. And Pecan beat Frieza, King Cold, Perfect Cell. That was after Zenkai boost, so it was like perfect Cell. I don't know if there's a better name for that.
Extremely perfect.
Extremely perfect Cell. All with 1 hit when they were causing a ruckus in hell. So Pecan was fucking crazy in terms of power level, and Ola Boo is just below that. So that puts him, and then Yamcha fights him later. When they die, after Boo kills everybody, Yamcha goes to Otherworld and goes to the Grand Kai planet, and for some reason when he's there, he's just the shit. Like, he can take care of anything. Like, Krillin even has a line where he's like, man, you know, back home you couldn't get him to train, but here he's a superstar because he's beating the shit out of everybody, including Ola Boo. And I think Ola Boo has help from some like ape-looking guy while he's fighting him, and Yamcha just decimates him. It's like, what the fuck? Now, to be fair, that is filler.
Yeah,
and in fact, I was thinking about it. I think all of Yamcha's best moments in Dragon Ball Z are filler.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he never actually does anything like successfully.
He's the filler character.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he is.
Yeah.
So, but we can count filler if we're counting a composite Aquaman, I think. So let's go ahead and bring up the first argument for Aquaman.
Who will win?
This is from Alex Taphorn. Aquaman trades blows with Superman and Wonder Woman, can dodge lightning, and has a death touch that can reduce Yamcha to a husk. What? Okay, I didn't know about this. Plus, he can have microorganisms attack Yamcha from the inside, or even command Yamcha to kill himself. His telepathy can work on non-sea creatures by targeting the basal ganglia? Basal ganglia?
Sure.
I don't know what that is, but it's a feature in the brain that is derived from our aquatic ancestors.
I think the touch of death thing, I'm trying to remember. Doesn't he like drain all the water out of somebody?
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
Like all the water and salt or whatever?
Yes, something like that. He can control it kind
What's up with this dodge lightning?
Dude, okay. Aquaman is fucking ridiculous. Like, if you really look at all the things that he's done.
Well, especially
like,
lately, because he was like, everybody made a joke out of him, and they're like, we gotta make this guy badass, so.
So they did. Like, he easily, like, he's knocked Superman the fuck back. And he, like they said, he goes, trades blows with Wonder Woman as well, right? So, like, he's no slouch for, like, physical combat. But also, like, my number one argument for him is that he has the fucking Trident of Poseidon. Yamcha cannot do shit against that thing. It controls the wind, lightning, water. Like, it's going to completely negate Yamcha's power of flight. He's basically like Superman Storm, is the best way I can.
Superman Storm.
Why couldn't Yamcha just fly up into the sky and blow up the ocean?
Because he can control the wind. He could literally
push him back
So,
down.
He
like,
could push
okay,
him
well,
back down.
Let's not act like a stout wind is gonna stop Yamcha from flying.
Yeah, I don't because
I mean, it is Yamcha.
Well, because they're not using air currents to fly. It's like their key. It's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would still be
Yeah.
like wind is still force pressing against you. If
Yeah,
like,
but if I feel like if
Not
you're a strong
much.
enough key though, that
What kind of wind force would that require?
yeah,
I have no idea.
And would that not damage the planet? Like pushing that much air straight down towards the planet?
He could also freeze him.
Especially
Tried to
because
do
it's
that,
not
too.
like he's like flying with a parachute. Like he's rather aerodynamic.
Trident also lets him teleport.
Well, shit. There you go. That's all he needs. Teleportation, clearly. But does it let him self-destruct? Because we all know that's... Or I guess it can go through his chest, you know. Yamcha's weak to chest wounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can
We know
spear him
that.
pretty good. You can just freeze him. It also turns into a sword. So like pick how you
You can
want.
just stab him in the chest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Yamcha.
What? Fine. Be wrong. Aquaman, hands down.
So we got Aquaman and Yamcha.
Yeah.
Why Yamcha?
Because like I get like the whole DC thing is like they're gods among men or whatever, but like Yamcha's pretty sick if you look at it. He could throw Kamehameha. He's just a normal dude. I mean, I guess they all can throw Kamehameha.
He did learn the Kamehameha wave, which took Roshi like 100 years to learn.
He's got the Wolf Fang fist.
then again, everybody else-
Pressure points. Wolf Fang fist. Aquaman. Boom.
I mean, Gohan learns it at like 7.
Yeah.
Like,
Roshi just apparently sucks.
Yeah.
I guess he's the one who developed it, so.
Yeah.
Roshi blew up the moon. Let's not take that from him.
Sure.
Roshi blew up
I
the
think
moon.
if what you're saying about the Ola Boo stuff, like he could, you know, he's greater
Yeah.
than like a perfect cell level, then yeah, I'll give it a Yamcha.
Yeah.
Aquaman. I want to see the poll. The poll's gonna support me.
Since we're counting all this other nonsense
I'm-
about Aquaman, I say him beating Ola Boo counts, and Yamcha wins.
I mean,
we
it's
got-
in DBZ. Like, why
Three of
wouldn't
you,
it count? If
three
it's
of you
just
are
filler?
really.
got three
This is
guys.
happening right now. Three of you are going with Yamcha over fucking
Wolf Fang
Aquaman.
fist.
Let's bring up the poll.
I
See
swear
what
to God.
happens.
Bullshit!
Oh, yes!
Absolute
Dunked on nerds.
and total bullshit.
Ah, yes.
Oh shit, that's close.
Yamcha. Told you.
I think
I demand we do this in a real
Yamcha
death
doesn't
battle
need,
so I can prove all you fuckers
can
wrong.
Yamcha, one, move fast enough, or two, just straight up use instant transmission?
Yamcha cannot use it.
He can't use
Okay,
this.
but can he move fast enough to where it seems like he's using instant?
Probably.
Yeah.
Especially in a fight.
Yeah.
Don't need a trident to teleport. He can already move that fast. Yamcha. Because you said with the trident he can teleport. Aquaman.
Control.
He can control what? The
wind-
water?
the
They don't
wind
have to
doesn't
fight in
matter.
the water. The wind is not going to affect his ability to fly. What are you talking about, Jed?
He can, like, he's super strong. And he can, come on.
Here's my thing. Yamcha could just hang out above the fucking ocean and just shoot Kamehamehas all fucking day. How's Aquaman gonna jump out the goddamn water 100 feet?
Well, actually, he can
Like,
do that really easily because he can shoot a water spout up. But
Yeah, but
yeah,
he can't,
but all
Aquaman
the way
can't
up
fly,
in the
can he?
sky.
also, we did
if
say this
Yamcha-
fight takes place on a beach, by the way.
Did we?
Yes.
Okay, well, whatever. I think we all assumed water was involved somewhere.
Yeah.
But like Yamcha can just fly up
Yeah.
into the stratosphere, fire a Kamehameha wave, blast it's big enough to
Doesn't
just
even-
dissolve the ocean.
Doesn't even have to
Also-
fire Kamehameha wave. Got the spirit ball, control it wherever Aquaman is.
Also, what do you think? Like some fucking sharks are gonna help Aquaman out? You think Yamcha can't just blow sharks the fuck up? Like,
With the
In-
spirit
No,
ball.
I don't think he needs any sea creatures. I
Aquaman
think
does have some
Aquaman
pretty
can
killer
take it.
sharks. Some like giant fucking monster.
Spirit
Like an
ball.
army of shark people.
Spirit
yeah,
Actually.
ball,
but, like let's talk
Kamehameha,
about these guys. They
Wolf Fang fist.
they like the
Come on.
people in Dragon Ball for whatever fucking reason they're still dinosaurs. They don't even they don't even
true.
worried about dinosaurs. Like,
Yeah.
shut up, dinosaurs, smack.
Like Gohan eats dinosaurs like legit
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
breakfast.
when he's
Legit.
5. Like he kill.
They roast
I mean, he's half
Same
Saiyan,
tail
but
over
still,
and
like
Oh man, that brought me back.
I refuse to accept this.
spirit ball and sharks, Kamehamehas.
Let me know in the comments.
It's too much
You're
for
on
Aquaman.
my side.
Yeah,
It's
actually, let
Aquaman.
us know if you're on Chad's side and you think Aquaman should win. I think you're wrong.
I think Aquaman will really
I
get
don't
his ass
know.
kicked.
Like, it's possible Aquaman would win, but they voted. You guys have proven once and for all that Aquaman would lose.
Bullshit.
That's how this works, apparently.
Aquaman
All right.
doesn't seem like a good fighter.
He absolutely is. He absolutely is.
Okay.
All right. So our next community death battle.
He's fucking triggered.
I'm just saying, like, I imagine like
That's one of the
Aquaman.
dumbest statements that's ever been
I
uttered in
just
this
imagine
podcast.
like Aquaman just jumping out the sea like a fish.
That's because you're thinking of Super Friends Aquaman. God damn it.
Yeah.
he's just jumping
That's
trying
the
to get
whole
at
point.
Yamcha.
I know.
Anyway, all right. So the next community death battle is something a little different. It's not quite a death match like we're used to.
Uh-oh.
So let's go ahead and bring up the graphic for that. This is Ignis versus
Ignis.
the Meowscular chef
Fun fact, that is just a
monster
toy of
in a
Ignis.
cook-off.
That is just a toy of Ignis. That's this picture.
Is that a toy? I don't know.
Yes, that
I'm
is.
not super familiar with
That
any of these
was a
characters.
toy.
I was just about to say, dude, I have to bow the fuck out of this because I don't play Final Fantasy or
I
Monster
found
Hunter.
another recipe.
So-
I've discovered a new recipe.
But I love the idea that they're just in the cook-off.
All right, then
Let's
here's
do
the
it.
plan.
Cat's badass though.
I am going to judge their food based on appearance only.
Okay.
So I'll
sure.
just look up some stuff and I'll see.
Final Fantasy 15 has some pretty good-looking fucking food. Like, it's crazy.
But Monster Hunter's food is also like, here's this like monster steak and like,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
obscene amounts.
How
too.
do we want to judge then?
I told you I'm judging.
So like we're judging based on appearance,
Now, I think
difficulty, like what kind of ingredients.
well,
I think the
okay.
community should go into the complexity of what it takes
Yeah,
to cook. Like, if
because-
it's like this has to be marinated for this many
Sure.
hours and it has to be simmered perfectly, and whatever. Like
But
they can
also-
go into that.
So like
But
appearance
also-
in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also like, does the food in Monster Hunter give you abilities and like give
Yeah, oh,
you
yeah.
boosts? Okay, same thing is
Final
with the
Fantasy?
food in Final Fantasy. But like some of that food requires like stupid ass ingredients, and I know this is like a given for Monster Hunter. But like you have to kill like one dish involves an ingredient from a fucking leopard that has death touch, and you need like 10 of them, and they like murder your whole team instantly.
Yeah, but he doesn't do that,
it's
right?
4 of you.
Yeah, you do that. Meowscular Chef doesn't do that.
Meowscular Chef, I mean, yeah, you bring him ingredients and stuff.
Yeah, you bring.
Plus,
Ignis has to go out and fight the shit himself.
not to,
Hey,
not
well,
to.
then that's a point. Well, we'll save
Whatever.
this for
Yeah,
the next
yeah.
episode.
Who would you rather hang out with? Look at
you
that
rather
right
have
there.
cook food
Look at
for
that
you?
right there.
It's all about the food.
okay.
That-
Look how slick he is.
That looks way better.
I'm not gonna be here next
right.
week, so let me just throw in the Meowscular Chef can make liquor and beer, so
There we go.
Well, okay.
I mean,
so we
even
got
more
a point
so.
for Ignis going out and
He's a
getting the
winner.
food himself, and Meowscular Chef making what?
Like in the middle of
Liquor and
nowhere, Ignis is like, wait a minute, I figured out a recipe. And he
was
sets
fake.
up a kitchen.
all
He
right.
sets up a kitchen
will-
in the middle of nowhere.
We will save this for next episode. Let us know who you think would win in a cook-off. You can look at, the process of making the food, the presentation of the food, like Chad wants to see.
They fight a giant snake.
Anything like that.
They
Just let
fight a
us
giant
know.
snake.
Torian.
Giant snake kills all of
I'm
you.
trying to wrap this up.
And that's
Ignis
that's
is like,
Harry Potter.
I figured it out.
And then we will pick a winner next week. We'll have a poll on the ScrewTech Twitter in just a little bit, maybe like on Monday or so. Give it a little while for this episode to go onto YouTube over the weekend. And that kind of wraps things up. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Death Battle Cast. Stay tuned, if you're a first member, to our sudden death episode that comes out this weekend as we discuss what happened to the Cheese Puffs in the Cheese Puff incident of 2018.
I need to figure this out.
Thanks,
I
guys.
feel like
Okay, bye.
I should know.
Okay, we'll see you guys.